welcome to Accounting in Focus. Hey guys, this is Kristen with accountinginfocus.com, and today I want to talk to you about using a calendar to help yourself be more successful. Um, the complaint I get from a lot of students is, I can't find time to study. I'm having trouble staying organized and staying motivated. So, one of my best tools that I use in my life is I use my calendar. And this is my calendar. Okay, this is the electronic calendar that I use. And the reason that I like using electronic calendar, first off, it's really easy to set stuff up in here. So, especially things like your classes. Imagine if you have a paper calendar and you've got to write in, every time a class meets. With this, I can set it up really quickly. The other thing that this does for me too is it sends reminders to my phone. So when I have to be at a class or I have to be at a meeting, I can tell my phone, hey, remind me that this is going to happen. So to show you how to set up an automatic event. So this is something, a reoccurring event is something that you go to on a regular basis all semester. So this could be things like, if you're in clubs or your class schedule. So let me show you how to set this up. So I've got all my classes in here except for one, and I've got a class that meets um, Monday and Wednesday from 8 to 9:15. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to drag 8 to 9:30. I'm going to have to change that and click edit. And I have a section of AC 211, which is managerial accounting, which meets from 8 to 9:15. So I'm just going to put that in. And I'm actually going to put the start date. I'm going to change the start date because it actually starts on the 22nd. And then I'm going to click repeat. Okay. And I'm going to say this repeats weekly. And it repeats on Mondays and Wednesdays, not Thursdays. And it starts on the 22nd and it ends, I know the last day of our semester is May 4th. So I'm going to say May 4th is the last day. I'm just make sure that I picked the right day for this. No, I didn't. 21st. Okay, so I've got this set up. So this class is going to run from 8 a.m. to 9:15. It's going to repeat every Monday and Wednesday until May 4th. If you want, you can put in the room location. So A421. Okay, I'm going to make this red because our school colors are red and white. So I make it red. And there it is. Okay, so now I've got on my calendar all of my classes set up for the semester. So this is week 1. Here's the week after that. Okay. Then I went in and I put all of my, I put all the meetings that I know about for the semester. So like if you're in a club, that meets a certain, the third Tuesday of the month, you can put those in. And now all of my school stuff is in my calendar. So the next thing that I do is I go through and I say, okay, now I put in my work schedule, right? So if you've got your work schedule, when you get that, if your work schedule is the same all semester, that's awesome. You can put it in reoccurring just like we just did. And then, if it does change, then, you'd have to put it in every week. Usually what I do is on Sunday nights, I sit down and I put together my schedule for the whole week so that before the week begins, I know what I'm doing all week. So now I can kind of visualize like I've got these huge chunks of time, right? And when you put that in, you sit there and you're like, wow, okay, so I do have time. So, if I wanted to study for my classes, and the thing you want to do when you're studying is you want to study on a regular basis, right? So you don't want to wait until right before the test, to sit down and study the material. So, I've got time Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings, so maybe I schedule time in here. I say, okay, I'm going to, from 8 to 9, I'm going to study for AC 211. And I'm going to make this reoccurring that, okay, on every Tuesday and Thursday, all right, let's make this repeating. Every Tuesday and Thursday for the rest of the semester, I'm going to study for this course. And you don't want to completely pack your schedule because if you pack your schedule, then you're not going to have time when papers come up or things like that. So I'm just going to put, hey, every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to study for this class. And you can kind of put some time aside to study for all your classes. Even if you just give yourself 30 minutes just to go through and review the material, maybe work on the homework a little bit. But I find that if you get yourself on a routine that this is what I'm going to do, if you make an appointment with yourself, you're more likely to get it done. And think about it, if you put your work schedule on your calendar, you go to work, right? If you know you have to be in class, you go to class. So I want you to consider studying, scheduling your studying just like you would schedule anything else in your life. Make it a priority. So if you like this video, I'm working on more. Please subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you like the video. Please leave comments. I'd love to know if you have questions about this or how you're using a schedule in your life. If you're looking for more information on accounting, you can go to accountinginfocus.com. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you soon.